What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the biggest hole left in the New England Patriots 2020 roster as we approach the final parts of the offseason and heading into the regular season in 2020. You might have been able to predict this, as I've said it many times in the past, but the position that I'm talking about is defensive tackle. Now, currently, when we're looking at the defensive tackle position, the Patriots currently have Lawrence Guy, Bo Allen, Adam Butler, Byron Cowart, Nick Thurman, Bill Murray, and Courtney Wallace Jr. That group definitely isn't anything that's going to stand out to you all too much. Lawrence Guy, of course, he's going to be a lock. He is essentially the leader of this defensive tackle position. That is the big body for the interior of our defensive line. Adam Butler is going to be another lock. He is the best guy that we have that has been able to get to the quarterback. Finished with 8 sacks this past season. Or 6 sacks, I'm sorry. He also had 5 passes defended this past season to go along with those 6 sacks, had a total of 26 tackles, had 8 tackles for loss, and 9 quarterback hits. Lawrence Guy, on the other hand, had a total of 3 sacks this past season with 2 fumble returns, while also having 1 pass defended, surprisingly an interception. A total of 61 tackles with 5 tackles for loss and 5 quarterback hits. Now, as for Bo Allen, he was an off-season addition here by the New England Patriots. Used to play with the Eagles, used to play with the Buccaneers, and was a low-budget signing here by New England. In 2019, he had a total of just half a sack, which seems to be kind of the route that Bo Allen seems to take. The most sacks he's gotten in a single season was 1. He finished with a total of 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. Let's keep in mind that he essentially is the guy coming in to replace Danny Shelton, the big nose tackle that we've had the past couple seasons. Last season, of course, coming off a big contributing season. Now, of course, is a part of the Lions team. He finished, Danny Shelton, in 2019 with the Patriots with a total of 3 sacks, had 1 forced fumble, had a total of 61 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and 6 quarterback hits. So I don't think it's a tough argument to say that that's a downgrade there by the Patriots. Byron Cowart is a guy who very well could make this roster, especially with just kind of, the money situation we're at. Who really are we going to be adding? Looking at the depth already at the defensive tackle position, I think Byron Cowart just kind of has every situation going for him to make this roster. He's a guy that has showed some promise in the preseason. Nothing too crazy, but, definitely made his name heard a little bit. He's going to be more of a Adam Butler style type of defensive tackle, though. He's not going to be a Bo Allen, Lawrence Guy, Danny Shelton type of guy, not a big body within the interior of the defensive line helping to stop the run and just clump up, the middle and the gap. He's a guy essentially that is good with getting pressure, pass rush, and getting to the quarterback through the interior of the defensive line. Now, as for guys like Nick Thurman, I don't really see him making the roster. He's been a guy that has been around this organization for a few years now, never is able to make the final roster, never really makes his name heard. I don't see anything changing now. As for Courtney Wallace Jr., don't really see anything there either. Now, as for Bill Murray, a UDFA signing by the Patriots this offseason following the 2020 draft conclusion, he's a guy that has some potential to make the roster. He's going to be a very big guy, kind of could really help fill that nose tackle position for the loss of Danny Shelton. He sits at about 6'4", 265 pounds, compared to Danny Shelton, 6'2", 344 pounds. But, of course, Bo Allen, he's going to be the closest of the two to getting back that big body of Danny Shelton, as Bo Allen sits at 6'2", 333 pounds. But something really that the New England Patriots need is going to be that big body that helps plug up the middle. So, maybe Bill Murray is able to make the final roster because of that. But, he's really going to have to make his name heard. If he's not performing well in camp, he's not performing well in the preseason, just getting pushed around, then he's not going to make the roster. And even heading into, the regular season, is Bill Murray really going to make that big of a difference, especially at the next level of a guy like Danny Shelton to truly be able to help the interior of the Patriots defensive line? Now, y'all, real quick, as I'm sure you know, there's no shortage of action going on with our exclusive partners, BetOnline.ag. For those of you who are NASCAR fans, I'm sure you know that NASCAR is back, and BetOnline has hundreds of games, events, and sports that you can still get on. I'm sure that most people here watching this video are going to be NFL fans, and guess what? You can get and bet on simulated NFL, NBA, and UFC, or even get this, participate in a $10,000 Madden bracket challenge. Basically what that is a March Madness style NFL simulation that you can enter for completely free. If this is something that interests you, go ahead and use your mobile device and join today to receive your new welcome bonus and check out all of the action. Guys, BetOnline, your online wagering solution. But when you look at the Patriots team heading into the 2020 season, what is going to be carrying them? Their defense. For once in really the past couple decades, it's not going to be their offense that carries this team. This is an elite defense that is going to carry the team into essentially winning games. The Patriots have the pass rush to get it done. There's no argument that you can make to say that the Patriots don't have a secondary that can get it done. But there is one part of their defense that still has concern, even heading off of last season, and that's going to be stopping the run. Last season, that was probably the worst part of the Patriots defense. They really didn't have much holes. They didn't have much issues, but stopping the run was one of them. Now, this isn't something that happened game in and game out, because there were times that, the Patriots could really shut down decent running backs. They were able to shut down guys like Le'Veon Bell twice a year. But when it came to playing teams with better offensive linemen and some good running backs, for example, when we played the Cleveland Browns now to go against Nick Chubb, that was a very exclusive and visible reason where the New England Patriots interior of their defensive line and stopping the run was a clear issue. Of course, we also saw that when the Patriots played the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram. We also saw this when we played the Titans in the wild card round of the playoffs and Derrick Henry ran across the Patriots. As I'm sure you know, because you've heard me say it multiple times, I'm sure you've heard NFL experts and analysts say this multiple times, if an offense is able to run the ball successfully, then they're going to win games. Essentially, it all comes down to which team, which offense is going to be able to run the ball more successfully. If one team can run the ball for 100 yards versus another team that only runs it for 50, I bet all my money that the team that ran the ball for 100 yards is going to win that game. It's just like when Patriots running back Sony Michel would rush for 100 yards plus per game. Statistically, they would come out winning those games. I mean, what happened when Derrick Henry and the Titans were able to run the ball successfully against the Patriots? They lost. What happened when the Ravens were able to do so? We lost. Somehow the Patriots were able to win the game versus the Cleveland Browns despite the issues of being able to stop the run. But I think you get the vibe that I'm trying to go after here. Stopping the run was going to be vital for the New England Patriots this offseason, addressing that factor in order to really essentially 100% bolster this defense. Because like I said, every other aspect is there. It's just stopping the run. Then, of course, the New England Patriots, they lost Danny Shelton. They lost Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, Landon Roberts. And how did they really replace that? Well, they got Bo Allen, and they got Anthony Jennings. I think that Anthony Jennings is definitely going to be a good piece in stopping the run. He's really good at that. I think that he's an upgraded version of a Landon Roberts in that aspect. But I don't think that he's going to just make the world of difference that changes everything heading into 2020. What I really think the Patriots need is going to be a guy in the middle that can really stop this run. Danny Shelton stepped up big last year. And I'm talking really big. And sadly, the Patriots lost him. And I don't think that adding a guy like Bo Allen is going to be equivalent to a guy like Danny Shelton. And you could have even made the argument that we needed an upgrade over a guy like Danny Shelton. What the Patriots can't afford to have done to them this upcoming season and essentially have the whole of, hey, if you want to be the Patriots, just run the ball against them. Because running the ball successfully also runs out the clock, helps an opposing team very well at time management. I do think that there is still some fair options that the New England Patriots could go after to help upgrade this defensive tackle spot, more specifically to help upgrade just the interior of the defensive line. Now, when I say this is a concern for me, I don't think that it's going to be something where every single game the Patriots have issues stopping the run. I still think that as a unit, you have the safeties and the cornerbacks being able to blitz and help out. You have some guys surrounding. You have guys like Dante Hightower. You're going to have someone like Anthony Jennings, guys like John Simon. You still have enough personnel to be able to get the job done. But when the Patriots are going to go up against more successful and dynamic running backs, especially teams with better offensive lines in the league, they're definitely going to struggle in that aspect unless they're able to upgrade. Now, right now, I'm not expecting anything big from somebody like Bo Allen or Bill Murray. Is there always the chance that they just have a breakout season and shine? Yeah, there is. But if we're going to be realistic, I'm not expecting that to happen. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. We talk a lot about, good spots of the New England Patriots, what they're going to be good at heading into next season, some of the bright spots. But, of course, with every bright spot on any team, there's also going to be some weaknesses, and I think that this is going to be one of the more reasonable and one of the bigger issues for the New England Patriots heading into next season, especially if they're not able to do something about it. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel, and it is completely free. And consider subscribing to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.